Good afternoon, everyone, and here is the report of Group 8 Phylum Mollusca. So, it is derived from the word mollis, which means soft, and their habitat is mostly aquatic and few of them are terrestrial. Their body is without segmentation, and they are trypoblastic in nature, and they are bilaterally symmetrical. Okay, so skip na natin to. Okay.
So, class Bivalvia. Characteristics. Any of various mollusks of the class Bivalvia having a shell consisting of two halves hinged together, clams, oysters, scallops, and mussels are bivalves. It is also called Pelicypoda and was formerly called Lamellibranchia. The word bivalves come from the Latin word which means bis, which means two, and valve means leave of the door. That because all bivalve animals have two shells that can open and close like doors. And here's the anatomy of bivalve.
This is an example of the class Bivalvia. The first one is the Margaritifera margaritifera. It is the freshwater pearl mussel, and it is an endangered species of freshwater mussel. It's an aquatic bivalve mollusk in the family Margaritiferae. The next one is the Myctelis agilis. It is the blue mussel, also known as the common mussel. It is a medium-sized edible marine bivalve mollusk in the family Myctelidae. The next one is Tridacna gigas. It is the giant clam, and it is the largest living bivalves in the mollusks. And then the next one is Mia arenaria. It is the soft shell clam or sun keeper, popularly called steamers. Soft shells, long necks, fish clams, and it is a species of edible saltwater clam in the family Myctelidae. The next one is Panoplia generosa. It is in the Pacific geodock. It is a species of very large edible saltwater clam in the family of Titanidae. It weighs 0.5 to 1.5 kilograms. The last one is Corbicula fluminae. It is the Asian clam. It is a species of freshwater clam. This species is often confused with Corbicula fluminalis due to similar color and texture.
So the next topic is class Gastropoda. Class Gastropoda includes the snails and the slugs, with gastro meaning stomach and pod meaning food. So they are literally stomachs on foods. Most gastropods have a single, usually spirally coiled shell into which the body can be withdrawn. So, pwede silang pumasok or lumabas sa shell nila when they feel endangered. Gastropods are characterized by torsion, a process that results in the rotation of the visceral mass and mantle on the food. So, yung organs ng gastropods, usually nakapaspiral motion sila sa shell. So, makikita po natin later yun sa anatomy. Gastropods have a muscular foot which is used for creeping, locomotion in most species. In some, it is modified for swimming or burrowing. Meron silang foot that they use for moving, and this foot also helps in sticking to surfaces using their mucus. Gastropods have a well-developed head that includes 1 to 2 pairs of tentacles and a concentration of nervous tissue or ganglion. They do not have a brain, but they have ganglia po. 3 nerves in their head region. And yung eyes po nila, they can only see light and dark. They cannot fully see po the image. Gastropods are dioecious and some are hermaphroditic in nature. So, gastropods can have 2 sexes at the same time. So, pwede nila i-fertilize yung sarili nila if there is an instance na wala silang mahanap na mate. So, they can reproduce by themselves. Gastropods are the largest class of mollusks. 40,000 species and 80% ang kinocover nila sa Phylum Mollusca. Species without shells can produce toxins or store-eaten nematocytes. So, yung mga walang shell na gastropods, kagaya ng slugs, meron silang ability na kumain ng certain toxin, tapos nun, they can transmit it to their slime. So be careful po when we are handling gastropods kasi we may not know that they might be poisonous or poisonous in nature. Examples of these are the snail, sea slugs, abalones, and whelks. So ito po yung anatomy ng gastropod. As you can see po, ito po yung visceral mass niya and ito yung pagkakaayos nung sa shell. So as you can see po, nandito sa likod, nasa loob po ng shell yung internal organs niya and nakapaganon po, paganon. So ito yung lungs and everything. And by the way, ito po pala yung foot niya, used for locomotion. Ito po. Ito yung foot. And ito, nakapatong dito yung shell. So dito po nagsisimula yung tinatawag natin na torsion. So simula dito, iikot po yung organs niya pag ganun. So ito naman po yung sa slug. As you can see, wala siyang shell. So there is no torsion po. Ito po yung genital opening niya or yung gonopore. Diyan po nangyayari pag nagre-reproduce sila sexually. Usually po ginagamit nila yung gonopore when diyan po lumalabas pala yung penis nila, sorry. Lumalabas yung penis nila diyan. Believe it or not, may penis po ang snail. Kulay puti po siya. Pero wala akong picture. Sorry. Kulay puti siya and then yung penis na yon nag-shoot siya na tinatawag natin na love dart. Yung love dart na yon, pagka nag-concentrate yun into the skin of the mollusk, pinapataas nun yung chance na pagka na-injecta ng sperm yung mollusk na yun, na merong love dart, mas mataas yung chance na ma-fertilize yung egg kesa dun sa kabila. Kasi as we discussed earlier, mollusks po are also hermaphroditic in nature. So even though they can produce sexually, pwede yun. Pwede yun. So ito yung foot nila pala, sorry. Ayan yung foot, visible. So ito yung visceral mass. Tapos ito yung foot nila. Ayan. Nakikita ba? Ayan yung foot nila. Ito yung lower tentacles. Ito yung upper tentacles or usually called stalks. Diyan po nakapatong yung eyes nila. Eyes. Tapos ito po yung tinatawag na radula. Ang radula po is the scientific name po ng mouth nila. And they have tiny structures of teeth. Meron po akong na-research na snails daw had 14,000 teeth. Hindi lang natin makita because they are very small in nature. 14,000 teeth. So ito yung whelk. Sorry, medyo malabo. So whelks po can be found on beaches or even underwater. They are typically like sea snails. So ang pagkakaiba lang po nila is yung pagkakaayos ng shell. As you can see, ito tagilid yung paglabas niya sa shell. And nandito yung eyes niya, paganon. Kakaiba yung pagkakaayos ng torsion. Ano ba? Nakakaiba yung pagkakaayos ng torsion. Kaya hindi kagaya nito, na pag ganon siya, ito paharap. Pag ganon. So same lang sila ng organs, hindi lang po nakakita yung internal organs niya. And ito po yung abalone. Yung abalone po, basically, para siyang bivalve na isa lang. Wala siyang second hinge, kagaya na sinabi ni Jeb kanina, na bivalves have hinges. Ito, nakaganon lang, wala siyang pangkakot. So ito yung yung internal organs niya. So here po yung species. So ito po yung species na abalones po muna tayo. So here is Haliotis rufescens or the red abalone. As you can see, kaya siya tinawag na red abalone kasi red siya. And this is the most common abalone po in America ngayon, in US regions. And dito po, Haliotis iris or the rainbow abalone. So as you can see po, yung shell niya, nag-i-emit po ng rainbow-like colors, kaya ganun yung tawag sa kanya. So ito po naman whelks, the Buccinum undatum or the common whelk. So ito po yung itsura ng whelk pagka in real life yan. So ito yung nila, eye stalks. Ito yung eye stalks nila. So dalawang to. Tapos nandito yung mouth nila or yung radula and dito yung foot. Tapos po ito po yung Buccicotipus canaliculatus or the channeled whelk. Iba po yung shell niya, kaya po siya tinawag na channeled whelk. So ito po yung muscular foot niya, Kaya natatakpan po kasi yung eye stalks niya at saka yung radula. So ito naman po yung slugs. So dalawa po examples. Anak. So dalawa po yung examples nito. Isa pong terrestrial at saka po isang marine. Yung terrestrial po is the Deroceras reticulatum or the gray garden snail, one of the most common slugs po, and the Glaucus atlanticus or the blue sea slug. So, ito po yung type ng slug na pagka kumain siya ng jellyfish na yung ano to? Ano ulit yun? Yung nematocytes na to-transfer sa slime niya. So yun, next. So snails, Cornoapersum or garden snail, and Achatina pulica or the giant African snail. So yan, giant siya. Yeah. Thank you.
So class Cephalopoda. Cephalopoda is a member of Molluscan class. The Greek word it means head, feet, such as squid, octopus, and nautilus. These exclusive marine animals are characterized by bilateral body symmetry, prominent head, and a set of arms and tentacles.
Cephalopods are widely regarded as the most intelligent of the invertebrates and have well-developed senses and large brains, larger than those gastropods. With the exception of the Nautilidae and the species of octopus belonging to suborder Sirena, all known cephalopods have an ink sac which can be used to expel a cloud of dark ink to confuse predators.
So cuttlefish. Scientific name Sepida. Cuttlefish have large W-shaped pupils, 8 arms, and 2 tentacles furnished with denticulate suckers, with which they secure their prey. They generally range in size 15 to 27 centimeters, and reaching about 50 centimeters in mantle length and 10.5 kilograms in mass. So they are basically the chameleons of the sea. They are also use jet propulsion for fast movement as they use their siphon to expel water from their mantle cavity. The cuttlefish has 3 hearts and a blue-green blood. One heart is for the whole body, while the other hearts are for each set of gills. The blood is blue-green because it carries a copper-containing protein in its blood instead of an iron-containing protein. So like I said, they are referred as the chameleons of the sea due to their changing color abilities. They use it to hide to their predators, and they have reason why they are able to do like chameleon-like things is because they have a chromatocytes, which is a skin pigment of their skin. So ito yung anatomy ng cuttlefish. That's the main parts. One example is an Australian giant cuttlefish. This is the largest cuttlefish in the world, growing to 50 centimeters and over 10.5 kilograms. It is native from the southern coast of Australia. It occurs on rocky reefs, seagrass, and sand, growing for a depth of 100 meters.
Nice.
Next one is the Pharaoh cuttlefish, which is the Sibia Pharaoh pone. It is likely a complex of at least 3 species. It grows to 52 centimeters. Mighty lang yan, it's also known as a siege pharaoh. The pharaoh cuttlefish have 8 short arms and 2 long tentacles that are usually tucked neatly into their arms. The cuttlefish moves by undulating a delicate fringe that runs along its entire body, but for quick cataracts, expels a forceful stream of water through its siphon. When threatened, cuttlefish produce a covering cloud of ink called spia. When they mate, male fight for Troy's mating bed. Most fights end without major injuries. After the males win their territory, the female cuttlefish appears at their dens and mate with resident males. Fertilization is internal.
Ano po na yung scientific name?
Ayan, si Pia. So their behavior, unlike other cephalopods, the pharaoh cuttlefish are master color changers. Known for their bright coloration and iridescent blue bands, they run along the fringe of their mantle. They can rapidly change their ornate colors, including metallic blue, green, golds, and silver. They also create skin patterns such as stripes and spots. Cuttlefish and other cephalopods use color to communicate warnings, mood changes, or ship displays.
Pwede ko iyaw yan.
Another one is the preferred flamboyant cuttlefish, or the scientific name is Mesopia preferi. It is known one of the 3 known venomous species of cephalopods. So they're poisonous. They're the only poisonous cuttlefish, and they found in people in the Pacific Ocean, especially along the coast of northern Australia. Prefer living among sandy, montane subspecies and tropical waters. Next type of species is the nautilus. Scientific name is nautiludae. This is one of the endangered species in Earth. Konti lang sila. So, there are only 2 genera. Sir, mga ilan? Pero, there are 2 genera. Nautilus. Total 7 species of nautilus left. So 7 na lang natitira sa Earth.
7?
The nautilus shells can reach up to 8 to 10 inches diameter. It is the only cephalopod that has a fully developed shell for protection. Unlike squid and cuttlefish and octopus, the nautilus has a poor vision and its primitive eyes have no lenses. The nautilus is considered to be a living fossil as it undergoes little change in more than 400 years. And they have 90 tentacles. One example is the chambered nautilus. Chambered nautilus is a large mobile cephalopod which is called a living fossil. Their lifespan is 15 to 20 years. Nautilus are the longest living cephalopods. The nautiluses must move into warmer tropical waters to mate, and then they mate sexually with when the male transfers his sperm packet to the female using a modified tentacle called a spadus. The female produces between 10 to 20 eggs each year, laying them one at a time, a process that may last throughout the year. It can take up to a year for the eggs to hatch. Next one is the crusty nautilus. This species was thought to have gone extinct after 1986, but it was rediscovered in July 2015. It has inhabited the Earth for 500 million years and has only been seen twice until now.
Grabe.
Wow! Wow! Next one. Go na. Ready yan?
Octopus, or scientific name octopoda. The octopus is a soft-bodied ape-limbed mollusk of the order Octopoda.
Sir again.
Around 300 species are recognized, and the order is grouped within the class Cephalopoda with the squids, cuttlefish, and nautiloids. One example is blue ring octopus, or scientific name this octopus is highly venomous species of octopus. They have yellowish skin, blue and black skin. Size is
Sir, what's the
12 to 20
scientific name?
centimeters or 5 to 8
Sir.
inches. The venom contains tetrodotoxin that
What is the tetrodotoxin? Sir, ano yan?
it can it hindi ko tumawa. Giant Pacific octopus, or scientific name Enteroctopus duflane, also known as North Pacific giant octopus. Lifespan is about 3 to 5 years, lay between 120 to 400,000.
Wow.
Adult weigh around 15 kilogram arm span up to 14 feet. Larger weigh around 50 kilogram arm span up to 20 feet. So, mahaba po. Squid, or Decapodophilus forbus. Ito po yung
Calamaris.
one example of squid is the vampire squid, or scientific name is Vampirodeotis infernalis. Can be found in temperate and tropical ocean. Can reach maximum length of 30 centimeter. Velvety black to pale reddish, depends on the light. Big fin reef squid, scientific name, large oval fin, average average of 3.8 to 33 centimeters, also known as northern calamari, more active during night. So, yun lang. Kay cut.